Hey everyone, it's the Photo Techie. I hope you're all doing well. So in my previous video on the third-party controllers on PS5, I tested the Nacon Revolution 5 Pro on the BFG in 120 FPS, basically trying to see what the latency is like compared to DualSense Edge. And some of you asked what it was like on the 60 FPS. So in this video, I'm just going to show my results of doing the same test in 60 FPS on PS5. So I want to start with the standard DualSense first, and I've explained how I do these tests. Basically, recording at 240 frames. I explained, the basic. I'm using intra-frame recording, so the compression is the whole frame is written. It's not interframe, and we are checking for the frame where the stick moves, and we're just basically counting until the screen shows the register. Now, I've explained in the past that sometimes just how the timing goes, that the first frame where the stick moves is a very minor movement, and it might be that the dead zone hasn't broken from that movement. But I just do multiple tests and I don't decide where the dead zone is broken or not. So I just go by exactly where the stick moves and when I get the register. So there is a bit of a spread in the results. I'm just going to show you guys what the standard DualSense can do. This is 60 FPS, Call of Duty. I keep the settings the same. The dead zones were set to 3% on the controllers that have 0 dead zones. And same thing for the DualSense here. And this is the frame where the stick basically breaks the center. And it's enough movement for the game should register because it's come out of the dead zone. And we'll just count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 8th frame. It might be a bit difficult to see in just a normal screen, but you can see. So I'll go back. This 7th frame. This is the 8th frame. So basically, there is a movement there. Sometimes the movement is very, very minor. So some pixel peeping has to be done to check for this. So that was an 8 frame result. I'm going to show a 10 frame result as well, just so you can see that how they can sort of like vary between them. So this is a 10 frame result, again, the standard DualSense. So I'm counting from this frame. Now it's a very minor movement. One might say that, oh, it didn't come out of the dead zone. But like I explained, I'm just counting from the moment the stick is moving until I'm seeing a register. So this potentially could be taken as a 9 frame result, but yeah, we're going to take it as a, from this frame, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10th, and then 10th frame, there is a movement. I'll go back a frame, and then you can see that top part is moving. So basically, that's the way I am checking for the results. If you've seen my other videos, you know what this is. So quickly going to share the results. The DualSense wired, I got 4 8 frame results, 4 9 frame results, and 2 10 frame results. So 8 to 10 frames with the standard DualSense. When we come to DualSense Edge, again wired and 60 FPS. One thing I should mention, the screen I'm using, the Asus monitor, on ratings.com on its review, they do mention that when you go to 60 Hertz, the input lag that they measured, it goes up from like 3 milliseconds to like 5 or 6 milliseconds, something like that. So it goes like slightly goes up. But that's probably the reason that I didn't see any 7 frame results, because at 120 FPS, the DualSense Edge was doing a lot of 7 frame results. But I didn't see any 7 frame results here. So just going to show some results of the DualSense Edge. Same thing, DualSense Edge also did 8 frames and 10 frames. But the Edge did more 8 frames than the standard DualSense. And that's my experience as well with Edge. It actually feels quite amazing to play on PS5. So that's the frame where the stick's broken center, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 frame. And it might not look like that there is any movement, but again, we have to do a little bit of pixel peeping. But that's so that's the 8th frame, and the whole basically top is moving. So that's the register there. And if I come out, that should be the frame. That's the 8th frame there. So DualSense Edge, like I mentioned, got more 8 frame results, and it's got 1 extra 10 frame result as well. So I got 6 8 frame results, 1 9 frame, and 3 10 frame results. I'm going to show you guys a 10 frame result as well on the DualSense Edge, just to see that what that looks like. And I think, so counting from this frame, it's enough movement that it should have been a 9 frame result. So I think it's not because the dead zones are broken, but this is still a 10 frame result. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10th. And it might not look like that there is a movement, because again, it's, you know, we have to do little bit pixel peeping on this one as well. And then 11th frame, you have a lot of movement. So this part is basically getting, you know, the color is changing, it's all blurring out. And then if I go the next frame, we can see the big movement there. So a DualSense Edge, again, 8 to 10 frame wired, which is like, it's a little bit more consistent than the standard DualSense, and that's my experience playing with them as well. I do prefer personally playing with DualSense Edge. Let's move on to the BFG. So third-party controllers, like I showed in the previous video, seems to have some sort of like extra latency and stuff going on, even wired. And 60 FPS, they do feel better. To me, like playing on 60 FPS now, unfortunately, it could be the fact that on 60 FPS, the visual looks so much better on PS5 compared to 120 FPS. That could be a potential thing that I felt like, you know, having a better experience. But they do work really well at 60 FPS. But the extra latency I'm going to show you guys is still there. This is the BFG wired, and so that's the frame. The stick is breaking the center. BFG has built-in dead zones, but my one actually can drift a little bit. So I was using one dead zone setting, like 1% in Call of Duty settings, compared to the 3% in DualSense Edge and the normal DualSense. So this is the frame. The stick breaks the center. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10th. 11th frame, I get that top sort of moving, and so I'm just going to show you guys. So this is the 10th, this is the 11th frame. So this is where I get that movement. Now if I go back a couple of frames, if I keep moving, there is nothing that's going on at all. One more frame, and then I get that movement there. So the results on the BFG were, I actually got one 9 frame result, one 10 frame, 5 11 frames, 2 12 frames, and 1 13 frame result on the BFG. So we went from 9 to 13 frames compared to 8 to 10 frames on the BFG. I want to show you the 9 frame result. I wish the third part, like if BFG performed like the DualSense, my days on PS5 would be absolutely amazing. So this is the 9 frame result. So that's the frame where the stick breaks the center. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9th. And then I have a clear movement on the top. Now I got shocked on this one a little bit because I'm going to show you something. If I go a frame prior, so you will see this part, it's moving, just this edge of this wall here. And this is not the frame where I actually got the register. The register is here. I was like, whoa, did I get a 7-8 frame result? No, it's just the game actually had this shimmer going on, because I noticed that even before I touch the stick, it was going on. So on this frame, even though I haven't touched the stick, it's still going on. So it did surprise me a little bit that, oh, you know, BFG on 60 FPS, it's not. We still have that really large spread of numbers. So 9 frame was the quickest, and consistently, I'm going to show you guys like a slow result as well. So let's look at I have a 13 frame. It's going to show you the 12 frame and then a 13 frame as well. So this is a 12 frame result. So again, this is what I mean. It's a very small movement on the first frame. Did I count it as this one? Yeah. So this potentially could be an 11 frame result, but the stick has moved and probably not broken from the built-in dead zone it has. But if you're counting from here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12th. So 12th frame, I have a register on the top. And so what basically I do is a frame before. So this is the register. I go a other frame before, and I just keep going back and forth just to see if anything moves. So it's just to make sure that I have the right sort of register recorded. But I would say, personally, so if I look at the numbers between 9 and 13, at 11 is like very consistent. So I would say 10 to 11 is probably the average or something like that. But that 13 frame result, I'm going to show you that as well. that is a little bit worrying, because that's the thing that we saw in 120 frame results as well. Like, you know, the spread is too much with the third-party controllers. So counting from this one, it is enough movement, definitely broken the dead zone. So it's not like, oh, it's a very minor movement, that's why it's extra frame. But yeah, so counting from here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So 13th frame, I have the movement on the top. And if I go a couple of frames back, 12th, I have nothing anywhere, just to make sure that, you know, I'm not losing anything, like, you know, any register or whatever. 13, I get that frame register on the top, and then basically moves normally. So 9 to 13 frame spread wired with the BFG, and you feel it. If you play back to back with Duealsense Edge, just feels absolutely amazing. The moment you come back to them, you're like, okay, something is definitely different, and you can do a lot more with the Duealsense Edge on PS5. All right, moving on to the Nacon Revolution 5 Pro. This is wired, and so the numbers I got with the Nacon is 2 10 frame results, 2 11 frame, 5 12 frame results, and 1 14 frame result. So yeah, 10 to 14 frames. And then I'm just going to show you guys so 10 is the quickest that I got. So I'll show like 1 10 frame result. So this is the this frame where the stick is broken, the center. And we'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 10th frame might not look like that there is much movement there, but there is definitely a movement. So I'll go a frame back, and then if I go forward, I can see this whole, like, you know, the whole thing moving there. So it's a 10th frame result, and that's how I record. So I recorded it 10 to 11, but on the 10th frame, I definitely have a lot of movement. 11th frame, there's a little bit more movement. Now, here's the thing. With this is something that I noticed. With the BFG, the movement is like very quick to move and stuff, even though I don't think it's because of the resolution or whatever. The BFG has higher resolution sticks, but the Nacon has a different algorithm. I mentioned that in one of the videos, where the Nacon has a sort of like a 3-step algorithm they've used of different resolution to get that per increment, to basically get that one block of like 3 movement is divided into, it makes into 1. I don't know why they've done it that way. So it's like 0.2, 0.3, 0.5. It goes up like that. And then it will go back to 0.2, 0.3, 0.5 per increment. That's how it does it. And it kind of shows. So so on the 10th frame, I have the register. Then 11th frame, I have a little bit more register. Then slightly more register. Then I get that register that starts moving. And this is a 60 FPS. So I don't know if it's something like that's how the Nacon is doing and stuff, but I did notice that. But yeah, it was able to actually do 10 frame results. And I will show you guys a 12 frame. So let's just quickly take a look at the 12th frame result as well. Again, enough movement in the first frame. So counting it from this frame, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 12th frame, I have the movement on the top. And if I go back a few frames just to see if there was anything else that had moved, another frame back, nothing. So 12th frame, I get the movement, and then it starts moving sort of a little bit slowly. So that's the Nacon's got 10 till, actually I got 14 frame result as well. It just felt like the control just went to sleep. Quickly show you the guys that one as well. I think it's the last one. I wish these controllers could be more consistent like the Duealsense and the Edge are, but unfortunately that's not the case. So this is the one where the frame that has the movement, and we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14th frame, I get the result. And if I go back frames, I have absolutely nothing. A few frames back, nothing. 14th frame is the one where I have, so nothing on the 13th. And that really surprised me. I don't think I don't think it's always doing that, because the reason I know the 14 frame is like really delayed because on the Stealth Ultra, when I plugged the headset in wirelessly, I just knew something was not right. And I had to do this test and I found out it was doing 14, 15 frames all the time when you plug a headset in and you're using wirelessly. So I know anyone like this would be noticeable by anyone. I think if you're doing 8 to 11 frames, you probably might not even notice it. Some of you guys will, if you are really tuned in. Like when I did the G7 SE review, guys, I mentioned that it felt sluggish to me. And I was coming from the Fusion Pro 3, the Raikiri, and I was using, at the time, I had the Victrix Gambit. So coming to the G7 SE, when it launched, I have a feeling it was slower than 10 frames. Nowadays, in 250 hertz, it does 10 frames. So I felt that, but a lot of people disagreed. They said, no, they don't feel nothing. It's absolutely fine. It's my controller that has a problem. So I think between 8 to 11 frames, a lot of people won't notice a difference. But this 12, 13 frames, if that's consistently going on, it will throw you off. You will know something is not right. So I don't think that 14 frame is all the time. I only got one like out of 10. Most of the time I was getting 12s. So it is slower. The Nacon is slower than BFG, and they both are slower than DualSense and DualSense Edge. I did do wireless test as well. I don't see a point in the wireless test. I just play wired all the time, but I'm just going to show you guys a few wireless results as well. So this is the DualSense Edge, and same thing, when the stick breaks, we're just looking for the screen register, and so this is the frame where the stick has broken center. Prior frame, nothing. There it breaks the center, and we're just counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So on the 8th frame, I have it might not look like to you guys that there is movement, but there is definitely a movement there. And if I show you guys like this part, so this is the 7th frame, and that's the 8th frame, and there is a movement there. And then 9th frame, it will, start moving a lot more. And so it starts showing the register like normally and stuff. But DualSense Edge in wireless, it could do 8 frames. So wireless, I actually got 4 8-frame results, 2 9 frames, 2 10 frames, 1 11 and 1 12. So I'll show you guys the 12th frame as well. And let me show you the 10th frame result as well. So this is a 10th frame result. So here the stick moves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 10th frame, the top is moving. Nothing on the 9th frame. I have any movement there. So 10th frame. Wireless, this is the thing. Wireless introduce, it can do 8 frame just like the wired, but it's not as consistent as the wired. So I got 4 8 frames, but then I got a 12th frame as well, which the wired never had. The wired, I didn't even get a 11 frame result. Just quickly show you a definitely 11 and 12 frame with the wireless head. Also, this is the 12th frame result, and this could potentially be taken as an 11 frame result, but I think there is enough movement on the first frame. And like I said, I don't decide, to take. I just go from the moment the stick moves. So from here, we're going to do it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 12th frame, I have a movement and nothing on the 11th and nothing on the 10th frame as well. And the 12th frame, there is a movement there. So wireless definitely has some drawbacks when compared to wired. It can like give you some results really comparable to the wired results, but it's not consistent. That's for sure. So Edge wireless, I got 8 to 12 frames, and I would say you think the 10 frame probably be the average. But yeah, spread around. Then we have the Nacon wireless. This one, I got 2 10 frame results, 1 11 frame, 4 12 frame results, and 3 13 frame results. So it went from 10 to 13 frames in wireless. And so let's just quickly look at this 13 frame result. And so I'm using this frame from here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So 13, the top moves. and the movement is on the top. So I'm keep checking the prior frames for any movement on the top, and nothing. Is the 13th one that I get the movement. So yeah, but it could do 10 frames as well. So here is a 10 frame result, and this is wireless. So that's the frame I'm using from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10th, and then 10th frame might be a little bit difficult to see, but the top basically moves. So 1 frame back, and that's the top moving there, and that's the 10th frame basically. So Nacon wireless, we got 10 to 13 frames, a lot of 12 frame results, and only 2 10 frames, 1 11, so a lot, like 4 12 frame results. So it's, you know, kind of like a definitely slower than its wired performance, but very similar. And so this is the 13th frame result. We'll just quickly show you guys. So from this frame, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 13th frame, I get the result on the top. Now the movement is on the top. So if I go to prior frames, I'm just looking at the top just to make sure that if I've missed anything on the prior frames, nothing, no movement whatsoever. And so 13th frame is the only one with the movement, and it's a 13 frame result. So this is what I mean. It's not as good as the Duealsense Edge wireless. Now the Edge does go to 12 frames, right? It went to 8 to 12 frames, but it did a lot more 8 frames, 2 9 frames, 2 10 frames. This one just like 4 12 frames, 3 13 frames, 2 10, and 1 11. So yeah, wireless performance definitely is not as good as the wired. And then last one, we have the BFG. The BFG in wireless, we got 3 11 frames, 3 12 frames, 3 13 frames, and 1 14 frame. Yeah, so let's just quickly look at the 11 frame result. So that's the frame. It's the sticks move, and it's 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11. So the whole top moves. If I go a couple frames back, I can't see no movement anywhere, and then 11th frame is the one that basically the top is moving. So it's sort of like divided equally between like 11, 12, and 13 frames. And then we do have that 114 frame result, which is definitely an outlier. But this is probably a combination of 125 hertz plus being on wireless. So that potentially could be a thing. So this is the frame that the sticks move. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14th frame, I get the top moving. Nothing on the 13th frame, nothing on the 12th frame, nothing on the 11th frame. So it's it does have 114 frame result. Now unfortunately, I think something is definitely, in terms of optimization, is an issue here. I just want to show you guys like a 13 frame. Yeah, so this is a 13 frame. It's third-party controllers don't work like this on Xbox, but unfortunately on PS5 they seem to have a disadvantage. So this is the frame from here. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12. 13th frame, I have the whole top moving, and if I go back prior frames, it's a lot of movement on the 13th frame. So I was like hoping maybe I can see some little minor movement, but nothing whatsoever. 13th frame is the one where I see that movement on the screen. So BFG in wireless, 11 to 14 frames. Now, what do I think about the controllers? I think they are amazing. The BFG actually feels really nice, but unfortunately, the moment you compare it against the standard Duealsense or Edge on PS5 especially, it's just, it doesn't feel right. And that's the problem. That's exactly what I felt. When I reviewed it, I didn't have my own Edge. I used to borrow it, but I actually bought a used Edge for myself because I mainly play on Xbox. But when you're playing competitively online, you have skill-based matchmaking and everything. You want everything to work perfectly. You don't want to be going short-handed, especially playing multiplayer online and stuff. I know this has 4 back buttons. That definitely has an advantage and stuff, but I do believe that that aiming performance hit that we have is going to impact your performance. If you want the ultimate performance, I think Edge is the one, but this definitely can perform really well, and it's all about timing. If you can get used to that timing, then yeah, this can be a really good solution, but compare it to Edge, not that good of a performance, to be honest. It should be definitely, like, especially in wired. I understand wireless performance can take a hit from the first-party controllers, but your wired performance should exactly be like a first-party controller, which on Xbox, in Xbox terms, some of the wired controllers perform better than the first-party controllers. But here with the BFG, that's not the case. The Revolution 5 Pro is absolutely amazing feeling controller, guys. I honestly, if I have to pick one controller with the ergonomics and the in-hand feel, that what I would like to basically have as my main controller, I would choose this. If this could have the same wired performance of even the normal DualSense, forget about the Edge, I would make this my main controller. That's how much I like the design of the controller and the in-hand feel. I think this is definitely, even though, triggers only have 50% cut on the trigger pulls, and the back buttons, you can say, are a bit finicky how they place, but I can simultaneously use them. The whole feel of the control is absolutely amazing. I do hope that they will release an Xbox version which will perform way better than what this one can do on PS5. And I have a video plan on showing how you can basically get better performance and sort of customize it, because there are a lot of customization options when it comes to response curve on the Revolution 5 Pro. And one can really get used to it, but the fact remains it is not as responsive as a standard DualSense or DualSense Edge on PS5. And that can definitely hold you back when you are playing competitively online. So although it's an absolutely amazing feeling controller and could be an amazing option for PC, but then there are better options on PC which can do 1000 hertz and other things. So people might not even look at this for the PC use case. But on PS5, I do hope something can change where we can get at least the same performance in wired mode as a standard DualSense. And that would absolutely make this my main controller if that happens. But right now, as it stands, DualSense Edge or the standard DualSense beat the Revolution 5 Pro for sure. I don't have to say much about the DualSense Edge, guys. Amazing performance. I wish it had 4 back buttons. Then this could be the ultimate controller and stuff. It shows 1000 hertz in every test you basically put it through on PC. And I do feel that this definitely does 1000 hertz on the PS5 as well. And I think if you are on the PS5, unfortunately, you might not like the ergonomics or whatever, and you need 4 back buttons. But if you are doing multiplayer gaming on PS5, this is the ultimate controller. If you do need 4 back buttons, then I do think going the route of a customized first-party controller by a third-party company like Scuff or AIM or something like that, maybe that's a better option right now until something can happen and we have an update and those controllers start performing better. If something like that happens, of course, I'll let you guys know. But so far, I think in all the results, if you are on PS5, that's your main console for gaming, and you're playing multiplayer competitive games, DualSense Edge definitely feels way better than anything else I've tried on PS5. Guys, I'd just like to say thanks to everyone who subscribed. Your support means a lot. And at this point, I'd like to ask you guys what you think. If you have the Nacon and the BFG, do you agree that you feel the same thing as I do, comparing it to a standard DualSense controller or even the Edge? Compared to Edge, definitely, I feel a big difference. I think to me, Edge feels the best on PS5. But definitely share your experience, your thoughts, what you think about this. And do you, like me, believe this is an issue? Because I think this is an issue on PS5 personally. I think this should be resolved somehow where we should get at least the same performance as, at least in wired mode, we should get the same performance as the first party controllers. But yeah, definitely share your experience, guys. That would really help me out, and I'm sure will help a lot of other gamers out there as well. And if you have experience of the Nacon or the BFG on PC, please share your thoughts, what you think, how it feels, because I'm really interested to know what you guys think of their performance on the PC. Thanks a lot for watching this video, guys. I hope you find the info useful, and anything that you'd like to know, definitely leave in the comments. I do my best to reply to every comment, and hopefully I'll catch you in one of my other videos. Bye for now.